the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Ding, ding, ding. Hi there, I lied. John usually comes in my one shot, Stephen. Just take note of that. Aaron Phillips, thank you for tuning in. Now he's on the one shot. Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, which is a great coincidence. Since my name is Aaron Phillips, the title of the show would be really stupid if it wasn't, wouldn't it? Thank you for joining me. Back from New York, back from vacation, all suntan, looking healthy, and I'm still exhausted from 5 days of a marathon trip back in New York. But I thank you for tuning in today. I've got a lot of stuff going on today. It's good to be back in the saddle. July is wrapping up. 100 and something degrees here doing Vegas. Take a lot of liquid, hydrate. Not adult beverages, by the way. That's not going to hydrate you. But if you have to do that, make sure you eat first, but plenty of water today. A lot to do today. My special guest in studio, he's an author, multiple genres, many books. And come September, he's going to be hosting a brand new show right here on WWDB-TV. And his name is Mr. Stephen Murray. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, I woke up this morning. Great day, thank you.
Love it. The Gift of Giving will be the title of the show. We'll get into that in a little bit. But as always, first of all, thank you for watching on Facebook, WWDB-TV, or, of course, my pages. Same two channels on YouTube. If you want to call us, 702-992-3207. If you're driving somewhere, because here right now in Vegas, it's noontime, so people are all over the place, soccer, food shopping, who knows what. WWDB-TV to your Android, WWDB-TV LV for your iPhones. Now, if you have Roku, I encourage you to download WWDB-TV. This show will be available in about 72 hours there, but go there because there are Brazilian, was that the word we came up with, John?
A
Brazilian's millions of shows available. Not only this one, and then in the future, Stephen's show, but all the other shows there. You can check that out as well. All right, as always, I only kick off my shows one way, and that is with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
All right, we're back. John, one thing you're going to learn when you start your show, maybe not so much with your show, but he'll do it occasionally. He loves trying to throw me off. He'll just start saying stuff back there like he's not on his meds or something, and he'll just start trying to get me off. Or your mic? Did you just turn your mic on? Were you going to say something?
Not a word.
No, not a word. Of course not. You're behaving because we have a studio audience in here today. I know how you work. All right, as always, I like to start off with winners, and there was one, and I didn't put my papers together because I've been so excited to have Stephen in here. Oh, here we go. Listen, how long have you been in Vegas?
20 years.
Okay. Do you gamble a lot? Do you play this?
Not at all.
Not at all. All right.
No, not at all.
That's probably very smart.
That's why he's been here 20 years.
That's right. He's
right.
been able to afford it. That's right, doggone it. Well, traditionally, the airport has always not had the best of odds for people to win. Trapped audience, you're flying in, flying out. The machines there are generally not really tight. Well, not this year. A lot of winners have been announced coming out of the airport, right? And we got one more, another one. A second millionaire was minted at the Las Vegas airport in a month. Within a month's time, two people have hit $1 million jackpots. A lucky player this past Tuesday, last week, won $1,286,324 jackpot on Monday last week. According to airport officials, the big win happened in Terminal 3. That's United Airlines Terminal if you want to know where to go play, while playing a Wheel of Fortune slot machine. The previous win came on June 27th, also on a Wheel of Fortune game. This one was on Triple Double Emeralds.
Wow.
So go hang out at the airport now, apparently, and try to win $1 million. Right, John?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Hey, here's another one. Now, we know, obviously, in the state of Nevada, our town, Reno, was not built on winners, right? Let's face it.
Right.
Okay. So when would $1.2 billion be considered a loss and not a win?
Oh, my goodness.
It's kind of ironic terms, isn't it? It's like an oxymoron, right?
You're right.
Well, here's the thing. The wins for Nevada casinos dipped in June. However, they still surpassed $1.2 billion.
Wow.
So the casino wins dropped, which is the loss. But the win is they still surpassed $1.2 billion. Are you kidding me?
That's not a loss.
No, hell no. Give me the $1 billion. I don't need the 0.2
Yeah,
if you
I'd
want.
be
I'll even
happy
take the
to have lost
0.2.
that much.
I'll take the 0.2. Are you kidding me? The gaming win for Nevada casinos dipped again in June, but it was still the 28th straight month for surpassing $1 billion. If my math is correct, that's 2 years and 4 months. It's a long time to
Jeez,
still be
that
over
is.
$1 billion,
Yes.
right? Now, here's the thing. That's down a little over 2.4% compared to June last year when the gaming win was $1.28 billion. Okay? You know what? Get some of that money to the education. That's what I have to say about that. So I hope I didn't hit you. I apologize. It's good that I've known Miriam so long. It's so good to see her. We connected on Facebook. And it's the first time I've seen her in a long time. By the way, a couple of happy birthdays. Carol Burnett. She turned 90 not too long ago. Love Carol Burnett.
Congratulations,
This is for you, Carol. I know you have this trademarked. Don't send me anything. This is just for you. Popeye turned 84 last week. Good old
Wow.
Popeye the Sailor Man.
Is he still with olive oil?
That's a good question. Hope he didn't slip out of town. See what I did there? The oil.
There you go.
Sorry. That's bad.
How
and
old is olive oil?
it's hard to tell. Her skin is so soft from all the oil. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. We did have a passing this past week. Sinead O'Connor, singer from Scotland, Ireland.
Ireland.
Thank you.
Yes.
56 years young. Cause of death is not known as of yet, but she might have had some medical issues, of course. She made public international news when she appeared on Saturday Night Live. I think it was 84, 85, somewhere around there. Bob Marley was the musical guest. She was doing a duet with him. This is when in the Catholic Church, when the sexual abuse was just starting to come out into the news, and she had a picture of the Pope, and she ripped it up on live television as a statement against the Catholic Church. That's really what kind of set her off, not just musically, but that is one thing on an international stage that people remember about her. But still, 56 is still pretty
Yes,
young. So
it is.
thoughts and prayers go out to the
Shame.
family. Here's a question. Do you like to play miniature golf? Are you a mini golf fan? Do you play golf at all? Let me ask you that question.
Are you kidding? I can't see the ball holding it. I can't kick a football, so let alone a golf
Let alone a
ball.
little golf ball?
No. But I do like to play mini golf.
Good. Well,
I haven't done for years, but I used to like
have you
to
ever
play.
played the KISS mini golf course over at the Rio?
No, I
That's
haven't
a fun
played any since I've been in Vegas.
Well, what are
only
you
in
waiting for?
California.
It's you're here 20 years.
I'm
Let's
too
get on,
busy.
Let's get
I'm
on the
too
stick.
busy.
Well, here's another one, though, that might be of interest. Okay. New mini golf experience heads to the Strip. This is going to be at the Mandalay Bay. It's called Swingers. I'll let that name just kind of float out there for a minute. But it's not what you think, folks. This crazy golf course will be at Mandalay Bay Resort and will open up fall of next year. The resort announced the new spot on its Facebook page this past week. Swingers has other locations across the U.S., including Nomad in New York City, DuPont Circle, and Navy Yard in Washington, D.C. The company's website describes it as taking mini golf and adding cocktails, gourmet food, and live DJs. Therefore, 21 and over only will be allowed to get into play.
Now, that's my kind of mini golf.
Right, isn't it?
Yes.
Who needs the 19th hole when you can
Yes.
get it right there in the first, right?
Well,
Drunk
gourmet
mini golf.
food and
True. Shut up, John. All right. What else do I want to talk about here? A couple of things. Okay, do you see movies? You go out to the movie theaters at all?
yes, I went 2 weeks ago for the first time
Oh.
since the King's Speech. That was
Really?
18 years ago.
Which is he's really on top of the movies, folks.
Yes.
What did you see?
I did not go see Barbie. I'm
No, you
sorry to
didn't.
say. No, I didn't.
It's
I
crazy
went
what
to
that
see
movie's doing.
The Sound of Freedom.
Oh, yeah, I
That's-
heard that's a great
yes,
movie.
Yes.
I want to see Oppenheimer. That's a new one that just
Yes,
came out. I want to see
going
that.
to see that next week.
Well,
Got
don't go-
spurred on now.
Are you really? You're going to see it next week?
Yes.
Then I need to hear from you how good it is.
I'll let you know.
I'm waiting for a review. Siskel
I'll
or Ebert,
definitely
whichever one
let
you
you
want to
know.
be.
I'll be both.
Okay. Okay. Well, don't go see it on an IMAX theater. Don't go to an IMAX theater because if you do, you could be paying up to a 20% surcharge for watching a movie in an IMAX theater now.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yep, they're just starting it. So to view a movie on this type of screen, people are being charged 10 to 20%. And IMAX, for example, a movie, IMAX 70 millimeter ticket to see Oppenheimer at an AMC theater in LA cost $26.50 plus a $2.69 convenient fee. The same movie at a similar time at a regular AMC theater was only $22.99 plus a $2.19 convenience fee. So be careful. Now, if you want to save money, if you want to pay that extra money, there are some ways that you can offset those extra dollars. Go off peak. That makes sense,
That's
right?
true.
Your evening times, right?
Yes.
Like me now, I can go in and show my AARP card, get additional discounts. Discounts could be as high as 30% if you go off peak for movies. So that's a good savings. Also go on special days of the week when they offer like 2-for-1s, things like that. If you are a frequent moviegoer, subscribe to like a pass that you can get discounts on. Better yet, this is one that I like. Stay home and watch it on a streaming service. Right? John and I, we're all over that.
Exactly what I was going to say.
However, as an example, Peacock has announced a new subscription price hike coming up come September. Spotify also has increased their subscription prices. So just be careful. But I can't tell you the last time I went to see a movie in a movie theater.
I got Peacock for a year for 99 cents.
That's because you must be a new subscriber.
That was when they first started.
Right.
For the whole year,
For the whole
99
year.
cents.
Do you send $1 and wait for a penny back?
No. I paid online just like everybody else.
If you send it Venmo, they have to get a charge and it's less. I just added Apple TV because while I was away in New York, my daughter watches Ted Lasso. Do you guys know about Ted Lasso?
Love that show.
So
Awesome.
we started watching the first cut, but I don't have Apple TV at home. I didn't have it. But
Oh, man.
we got hooked with Ted Lasso. It's about an American football college coach who won like Division III championship, gets hired to become a coach of a soccer team in England. Knows nothing about soccer. The reason being is that the wife and the husband who owned the team, they split, and the wife wanted the team to tank as a stick-it to the ex-husband. However, the plot changes, and I'll just leave it at that. So 7 days you get a free.
Brilliantly written,
Oh.
brilliantly acted.
Do you know who the guys are behind the show who wrote it? If you're a South Park fan, you'll know the two guys. Same guys who did the cartoon South Park are the writers for Ted Lasso.
And also,
I love Beard, by the way.
and the other guy that's always saying effing and all that.
Ray.
Yeah, Ray. He's also one of the writers.
Oh, is he really? I didn't know
Yeah.
that. He is so good. I love him. He is so good. So, what was I saying? Oh, Apple TV. So
Hey, you got a show to do.
I'm trying.
Pay
Well, stop
attention.
talking to me. I got guests here. $6.99 a month, which is actually one of the cheapest streaming services out there, and you get 7 days free. So I'm trying to squeeze in all the Ted Lassos that I can get before the 7 days is up. But for only $6.99, I may keep it and just dump one of the other ones. All right. More importantly, though, if you like entertainment here in Las Vegas, I got some news for you. Katy Perry will be playing at Resorts World. She has 8 shows scheduled in late this month and going into next month before coming back for 10 more shows, October 4th through November 4th to conclude her residency. Maroon 5's MSLV residency will launch its final 6 shows at MGM Park on August 4th and concluding on the 12th. So their 8 shows will be consecutive. Who doesn't love Rod Stewart? Everybody love Rod Stewart? Yeah. I noticed he was the last hand that went up. All right, I'll just kind of put it
Well,
up.
I've seen him.
You just-
Yeah, seen him in concert.
Maggie May and all that
Puts on a
stuff.
good.
Does he
puts
put on a good show?
Yes, he
All right.
does.
I've never seen him live.
I know
No,
his
he's
drummer.
good. No, he's
You know
good.
that-
And one of his backup singers.
Really?
Yeah.
Lucky you. Who cares?
Alan.
Yeah, I know Alan. So Rod Stewart returns to Las Vegas. I talk with everybody. Why do I keep talking to him? If I keep talking to him, he'll keep talking. Anyway, Rod Stewart returns to Vegas for residency at Caesars Palace, November 10th through the 22nd. Carrie Underwood, she will be at Resorts World for 12 shows through September, November, and December, starting September 20th, concluding December 9th. Keith Urban, residency at BACT, B-A-K-K-T. Never heard of that theater at Planet Hollywood. He presents 8 shows starting November 1st to November 18th. A lot of shows going. If you like music, place to be.
Yep.
That's why we do this
No
here.
question.
Carlos Santana, an intimate evening with Santana Greatest Hits live residency at the House of Blues.
Wow.
Mandalay Bay is set for 8 shows, September 6th through the 17th, and 8 shows, November 1st through November 12th. Now, the most anticipated new show coming in, of course, is at the Sphere. U2 is slated to be the opening act, coming up soon, actually. Let's see, September 29th. They have a 25-show residency at the Sphere, which will run through December 16th, and is the highest demanded ticket in Las Vegas at the moment. Tickets are sold out, but many are available for steep prices on the third-party ticket vendors. I'll just leave it at that. Okay. Jerry Seinfeld will be coming back to Caesars. Let's see. He'll be at the Coliseum for 2 shows, which the second one is tonight. So you don't need to worry about the other dates. And then he's coming back to complete his residency. Let's see. April 12th and 13th is all next year. August 9th, 10th, September 6th, 7th. Then the residency is good for good news because his shows are on weekends. So people can actually go. So a lot of stuff there. And the last thing, before I go to break, because I'm running out of breath and I need to catch my breath so we can start talking to Stephen. Are you aware of the fact there's a big race coming here next year? It's a loaded question, isn't it?
No, I'm not.
No, you're not?
No, I'm
Formula
not.
One. If you've noticed all the construction, everything going on downtown and all the cones in Tropicana, that's all in preparation for this Formula One race that'll be driving through about 3 miles of the strip.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Check this out. If you have a business in and around the race area, you ready for this? Race officials are charging clubs and restaurants $1,500 a person to host any viewing event, with a note stating establishments that don't pay could have their views race obscured. The license fee charge is common practice for Formula One as the company generates the majority of its revenue via licensing, etc. If businesses don't opt in, as we said, they will be blocked with light stanchions, barricades, maybe the seats and everything. Clark County Commissioner Mike Naff says that it's important to recognize the race is taking place on a public right-of-way and that it should be an opportunity for everyone involved to benefit. So obviously he's against this registration fee. With a licensed agent, however, the Grand Prix can ensure all live viewing events are up to the standards of the ones already under the race's control. Apparently, this is also part of the fact they want to bring Formula One back for a few more races over the next couple of years. And of course, with that, by the way, it's 3.8 miles down and around the strip in November. Okay, so it's obviously going off the strip and all over the place. No surprise, we've been talking about this for a while, but if you want a hotel room in and around the race with a view, suffice it to say, standard room rates will be multiplied higher than their normal rates. I've seen prices like at the MGM for $10,000 a night. I mean, it's crazy what they're charging. But 150,000 people are expected to come in, and they're estimating approximately $1.1 billion of potential revenue to come into the city. With that,
is that a loss?
It's a loss, a win. It doesn't matter. I'm not spending a penny for it, so they ain't getting my money. Anyway, with that, we're up against our first break. When we come back, this man, Stephen Murray, we're going to talk about what his show's about, his books, anything else he wants to talk about, because he's the guest. I don't care what he wants. He can talk about
time.
We'll be right back.
You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery. I've gotta have it.
So colorful.
I can't live without it. You'll find the art that speaks to your heart at Desert Valley Gallery.
Hey, welcome back. By the way, a little tagline to Desert Valley Gallery. Thank you to Ed, Richard, and Monique. If you go into that shop, they are located in Tivoli Village, right around the Valet Circle there, right next to the steakhouse. What's the steakhouse there? Echo and Rig?
Yes.
Go in, mention Aaron Zauer, the commercial. You'll get 15% off. That's right, 15% off your first purchase at the gallery. And as you saw there in those pictures, we're not talking your typical dark gallery. This is a light, welcoming gallery. John, did you have something? I see you. Whenever I see you moving over to the microphone, I get ready. So hit it. What do you got?
Ask him to sing Suddenly Seymour while you're there.
Yeah, exactly. If you missed last week, well, the show was live 2 weeks ago, but we replayed it last week. Ed and Monique did a live version of Suddenly Seymour, which was terrific. All right, with that, as I bring up my show so I can see everybody in the chat room. John, I hope you're monitoring the chat room because I have not.
Oh, wait, are we live?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Is that now?
Yeah.
All right. I just brought it up on my phone. Anyway, 702-992-3207 is the number. Just make sure you put a quarter in the slot when you dial because we can't guarantee the phones work over here. Anyway, as you can tell, Stephen was born in Brooklyn, New York with that accent. I'm not going to read this. He's written a lot of books. We'll talk about the books, different genres, but more importantly, when John – here's the thing. I love John for a lot of reasons. I had just come back from New York Monday, And I messaged very early Tuesday. And I looked at my calendar Tuesday morning for my show. I'm like, crap, I don't have a guest scheduled. John, you got anybody? Because I love introducing new hosts. That's what I always love to do. And one of the things that John is trying to do, and I'm fully supportive, is we bring hosts on from other shows because it helps everybody, right? So I was like, John, I need somebody. He said, I may have somebody for you. Give me a couple of minutes. And that's when he connected you and I. So I love introducing new people to my audience, but the gift of giving, because I've been in Kiwanis. Are you familiar with Kiwanis?
Oh, sure. Yes.
So I've been in Kiwanis dating back to the 1980 as a Key Club member in high school. And so I've grown up, and we do a show here called Kiwanis Connects and everything. The fact that your show, which is based on, I'll just kind of say it briefly, the gift of giving is talking about nonprofit organizations that do wonderful things in this town that are overshadowed by the bigger nonprofits who get the bigger publicity, right? Is that a fair way to explain kind of what you're targeting?
Yes, and it's mainly to sort of give a bit of a flip side to the news, because of the news is pretty negative. I mean, let's be honest.
Absolutely.
And there are a lot of good things. There's a lot of unsung heroes and angels out there doing the good work, doing the Lord's work, that just don't get the credit, and they don't get the acknowledgement. And that's what I want to do, is focus on those local people that are making a difference in our little corner of the world.
I love it. In my years in Kiwanis, and even doing all my shows all these years, I've always wanted to bring in the nonprofits that need a bigger spotlight, because everybody in this town, everybody knows Three Square, everybody knows Opportunity Village, everybody knows Veterans Village, and I'm not taking anything away from them. They're terrific organizations for what they support. However, the casino industry, as an example, loves to support them, and that's how they've gotten bigger and better. I mean, Three Square's got a 30,000 square foot warehouse to do what they do to prepare food for those who need it. I'm all for that. But the small organizations like you're referring to, yesterday I had Frank Pizarro, who is the founder of Firefighter Memorial Transport, former firefighter from New York, military. He has a caisson, if you know what a caisson vehicle is, fire truck. And he wants to make that available. It is available for all fallen first responders. And he just purchased a Humvee, so that now he can offer the same service to military. But people out there don't know that.
No.
And people out there don't realize that it costs money to do these things. So they need as much spotlight as possible. And that's what I love. I can't wait to, and I know our guest in studio here that's watching is someone that you may be talking to be part of your show down the line. See, I still know everything. I hear. Anyway.
You've already spoken.
So that's what I love about it. And it tickles me to no end that you're going to be spotlighting all of that goes on, because people don't realize, you'd think Vegas, you think of 5 miles of dirt, shows and all that stuff. There are good things going on here that have nothing to do with it. And I tip my cap to you for bringing that kind of show forward. I think it's great.
Well, thank you for that, Aaron. And when I first moved to Las Vegas, I think, unfortunately, we're known throughout the world as Sin City. You know, people just assume that if they're coming here, we're just all money grabbers. We're just here to grab their money. And if it's one thing that surprised me when I first moved here, was the kindness and warmth of the people. They're just really nice people. It's still a small, well, not so much now in the last few years. It's grown.
Closing to about 3 million people.
Yes, but up until a few years ago, it still had that small hometown feeling and attitude where people got involved in their community.
Right.
And it's amazing what some of these organizations are doing. It's just incredible.
Well, look at how this town came together for 1 October. Right? I mean, after the event and the blood drives and how the community came together, or years before that, those 2 police officers that were executed at CC's Pizza, not far from here, and how everybody came together to support their families. That's what people outside of Las Vegas, again, everybody thinks of the Strip. When I told friends that we were moving out here 26 years ago, they're like, where are you going to live? And I'm like, well, trust me, it's not going to be in a tent, in a sleeping bag between Bally's and Harris. There's places, those people have to live somewhere. And we are a community outside of the Strip. I mean, like any town, we are a small town in relative terms. But when I moved here, there was about 500,000 people that lived here. Now, 2.3, 2.4, 2.5, whatever it is. And we're still getting 40 million people a year who come to visit here.
Yes.
So there are a lot of places off the Strip. We are a small town. And that's where people lose sight of what we do here.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
What was the biggest thing when you moved here, when you came here 20 years ago, what was your expectations of Vegas as a whole anyway? Had you come to Vegas before you moved here?
My business partner and myself, we moved our business from California, from Los Angeles.
Okay.
So when I first came to LA, that was back in the late 1970s.
Okay.
I used to come up to Las Vegas every 3 months.
Oh,
and have
okay.
a little flutter and a gamble and
Sure.
see a couple of shows, enjoy
Right.
the Sunday brunch, and then drive back to
For $1.99 that Sunday
That's
brunch.
right. Yes. And, a gourmet buffet brunch, I might
Yes.
add. They were.
Exactly.
And so I used to come up here quite often. But when we decided to move the business from California, said cut out the gambling.
May I ask what the business is that you?
Yes,
that you have?
computer software.
Oh, okay. Developer.
Computer software. As developer support
Okay.
and maintenance, and
Gotcha.
started back in 1982, and winding it down now.
Okay.
It's time to do other things.
Sure.
Retirement years, and
Mhm.
most of our clients we've had for all those years, and
Sure.
they're winding their businesses down
Gotcha.
too. They're either selling it or just retiring,
Sure.
shutting up shops.
Sure.
So through attrition, we're losing the clients, and that's fine. It's been a good relationship for
Good.
40 years, 41.
We should all be lucky to have a successful business for 40 years. I'm just happy for 4 days.
You
Anyway,
know what? All done on a gentleman's handshake too.
oh, the good
I've
old
never
days.
never had a legal
No
fee or
contract,
legal
nothing.
expense.
Wow.
No,
That's old school.
nothing.
I love that. I love
Yes.
that. Listen, coming from the East Coast, I'm from that mentality, a handshake and your word. That works for me. If I
Well,
express
that's
it, I
what
trust
impressed me about this
Yeah.
this TV station too.
it. Don't let them fool
One
you.
of John.
It's too late, John. You got him.
Yeah.
Sorry.
When John said he does it all on a gentleman's handshake, I just
Yep.
love that philosophy.
Absolutely.
It's-
Absolutely. Listen, your background and I presume, obviously, coming from over the pond, as they say. Is that still the
Yes.
phrase?
Yes.
Have you traveled the
Across
world?
the pond.
Have you traveled the world?
Yes.
What are some of the places you've gone to?
Well, I was raised in different countries in Southern Africa
Really?
as,
Oh,
a,
okay.
as a child. I
So
was
is
7
that
years
so?
old.
That's an African accent,
Well, it's
South African.
some people can detect it, believe it or not. I spoke to one woman recently. She said, "How lovely to hear a South African accent," and I didn't tell her I was from South Africa.
John,
but
You didn't
that's
have
what she
to.
figured.
Mark Weinberger.
Yeah, no, that's
Right?
what I said. Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I said the same thing when I said.
But I grew up in different countries in Southern
Okay.
Southern Africa. We moved around quite a bit, kind of like a gypsy. And I did go back to live in England when I finished high school and traveled around Europe.
Okay.
And then when I moved to America, I traveled to a lot of other different places. Been to South America, been to all 5 continents: South America and Asia, and
Okay.
of course North America.
Sure.
I think some of the most exciting places was Bhutan in the Himalayas. That's
Really?
a lovely country to
Nice.
visit. Beautiful country.
Well, there goes one of my questions. I have to cross that off about vacation spots now. Remember, I told you I'm going to be throwing some curveball questions
That's
at you.
quite
That's
all
one I
right.
could cross off the list. Before we move forward, I want to focus a lot on the show as well, because
Yes.
I want to use this as a little bit of a launching pad for the
Thank
audience
you.
to
Yes,
get ready for the show.
appreciate it.
Let's talk about your writing skills. You're an author,
Yes.
written half a dozen books or so,
Yes.
different topics
Different
and genres.
genres.
Quickly talk about them, or where people can find the books,
Well, actually, it's
unless
funny
you choose not to.
No.
No, just kidding. I don't want to sell my
No.
books.
It's funny you should mention that, because the first book that I wrote was on my travels throughout the world, because
Really?
I've been to over 40 different countries.
Wow.
And I thought people might be interested in the cultures and
Mhm.
and customs of all these different places.
Right.
And I took it to be published, and I was told, no, nobody's interested in that stuff. You need to write women's fiction. Oh, God, I don't know anything about women's fiction.
Right.
But I wrote a book, and it was about fictional Las Vegas wedding chapel
Mhm.
called the Chapel of Eternal Love. And much to my pleasant surprise, I was encouraged to publish it, and it sponsored a sequel. People wanted to know what happened to the couples after they left the chapel, so I had to write a sequel 5
Sure.
years down the road.
Sure.
And then wrote a cozy murder mystery set aboard the Queen Elizabeth
Now, wait a
II.
minute. Cozy murder mystery. That sounds like an oxymoron there.
You-
Cozy
you
and
know what?
murder should not be in the same sentence.
Believe it or not, if you go into Barnes & Noble, you will see a section called Cozy Murder Mystery.
Really? I'll have
Absolutely.
to check that out.
And I'd never heard of it, and I was thrown when I was giving a presentation, and somebody said, "Yours sounds like a cozy murder mystery," and I thought, "What in the world's that?" But what it means is it's there's no graphic sex, there's no graphic violence, there's no expletives or anything like that. It's just an Agatha Christie kind of
Gotcha.
where anybody can watch it and not be offended or upset.
Okay.
There's no blood and gore. And then I wrote a crime fiction book set in Las Vegas, and a cozy, warm, fuzzy, feel-good Christmas novel.
Okay.
So those are the 5 books that I have out.
It's interesting because a lot of people love writing books in and around Las Vegas and having Vegas as part of the story. And I just find it interesting that you have a couple of books that are based in the Vegas genre, so to speak. I just love that Vegas got intertwined into the books. And these are all available online. Barnes & Noble, where can people get these?
They can get them on Amazon, or they can go to my website, www.authorstephen, Stephen, Murray.com.
Excellent.
And
And they're available.
list all the books there. Some of them are available in Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
Yes.
And after you buy his book, look for my book. Let My Voice Speak to You, because I only sold like 3 copies in 2 years, so I need to move one more at least. Anyway,
Who bought the other 2?
I did.
Need to get you on my mailing list, and you've got to come on some of these book signings that we
I'd
have.
love to. I would absolutely love to.
Yes.
And you probably remember what I looked like when we first met.
Oh, yeah.
Right? 354 pounds. And I had
Jeez.
5-6 years ago, I had to have gastric sleeve surgery because I had some other illnesses. And I went from 354 to 215 right before the pandemic. So I was now say the COVID-19 has given me the COVID-20 that I'm trying to get the back off my body. My book is about the things that because my wife did the procedure about 9 days after I did. And I talk about in there things we learned.
Mm-hmm.
But the way I tell the story is the way my message is people can apply to any aspect of their life. It doesn't have to be around a medical thing. I also share some stories behind the microphone when we're on break, because sometimes when you're on break, you have some of the best conversations that nobody hears. So I share some of those. And then I just have some tidbits in there about how to do what we do, how to do a podcast and a radio show. So
Sure.
It's about this. I had to use a ghostwriter. Because if I wrote my own book, it would be 2 pages long and it would have stick people in it. So I had to use a ghostwriter to tell my story. But anyway, it's out there as well.
You can now get
But I'd love it.
artificial intelligence.
I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to team up with you. If you have a book, so I'd love to come down and do it. That'd be great.
No, there's organizations you can join that organize book signings in Las Vegas and things.
Well, let
like
me
that.
know. I'll have to get that
reach
stuff
out
from
to
you. Yeah, please.
Yes.
Hello, Jennifer from Hawaii. My dear friend Jennifer. She's a good friend. She'll be in town in October. She comes to Vegas twice a year. We like catching up with her. All right, before we go to our last break of the show, now it's time for some of them curveballs I was talking about. All right, you ready?
Sure.
Who's your favorite actor of all time?
Oh, favorite actor? I'd say probably Anthony Hopkins. I think is always consistently good.
Okay, you know what? You even sound a little bit like him too.
Oh.
But yeah, Anthony Hopkins is it Sir Anthony Hopkins now, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Who's your favorite actress of all time?
Oh, I think I'd have. That's a tough one. There's a tie there. I
You're
think
my guess. You didn't get both.
Audrey Hepburn,
Ooh, classic.
Grace Kelly,
Ooh.
Elizabeth Taylor, and believe it or not, Haley Mills. I grew up as a.
That's
I had
okay.
a crush on Haley Mills since I was about 8, 9 years
That's all
old.
right. Somebody's got to love somebody somewhere.
Always liked Haley Mills' movies.
That's good. That's terrific. I love it. By the way, visit my website, Aaron's Hour. What's my type? AaronsVoice.com. What else is my website? I've been away for 3 weeks. I don't even know who I am anymore.
Just look right above your head.
Oh, yeah, right. Where is it? Right here? No, over here. There you go.
Over there.
There you go. There you go. Right there.
You got it.
What does it say on there? Anyway, AaronsVoice.com, I think. Go to my merchandise tab. I have some shirts and stuff, and my book link is there as well. Okay, favorite movie of all time, so that when it comes on, whatever service you like to watch it on, you pop your favorite popcorn, you grab your favorite adult beverage, you turn your phone off, you don't want to be bothered. What movie is that for you?
Oh, wow.
I asked a tough question. Geraldo
That
Rivera's
is-
got nothing on me.
That is. I'm not too sure that I actually have an all-time favorite. I think West Side Story, was one that moved me a lot at the time.
Okay.
The original one, not the
original one,
remake.
the black and white. So if you start
but-
finger snapping right now, we'll understand why.
I just think when I saw that movie for the first time, it was just seemed so powerful. And I think I was probably only 12 or 13, so it's probably not as powerful now. But I still enjoy watching it.
I think
Whenever it
it's a
comes on.
classic. Yeah, it's a classic.
It just really is. And I think Stephen Sondheim himself was involved in a lot of great musicals. Really liked.
Have you ever
them.
seen Chicago? Speaking of musicals,
Not the movie. I saw the stage play, but
stage
not
play?
the.
yeah, I just saw it in
I
New
wasn't
York.
too sure about the cast in that.
Oh, who was in the cast when you saw it?
Well, I can't remember who was in the cast I'm talking about in the movie.
Oh,
I
in the
didn't
movie
know
itself.
whether the movie. Sorry, Richard Gere.
Fair enough. We'll keep going on that comment. You can send your Richard Gere comments to Steven. Anyway.
He's a good actor. I just didn't know about the casting in that
not
movie.
in that one. No, you're right. That's a good point. You should have stuck to Pretty Woman. Anyway.
There you go.
What's your favorite music genre?
Oh, I think it's just like easy romantic music.
Okay.
Kind of. I like Johnny Mathis is my favorite male singer.
Chances are. Sorry. That's all I know.
Try this one, Petula Clark, for my favorite female
Really?
singer.
Okay.
Loved her since I was 6 or 7, long before Downtown.
Wow.
I mean, she was singing during World War II. She's
Right.
90 now, but
Right.
I just grew up and her music always
Wow.
spoke to me.
Oh, that's
You
cool.
know, it just did.
Last question before we go to our last break of the show. So, speaking of music, you're driving in your car somewhere. Okay, you had a red light. Your favorite song comes on. You don't care what anybody sees in the car. You're bebopping and having a good time. You don't care. What song is that? What's your favorite song of all time?
Wow, I wish you'd give me these questions. To
No,
think about.
that defeats the purpose of the spontaneity of these questions.
There's a song. It's my favorite song of all time. It's probably not well known. It's a song called "Mother of Us All,"
Okay,
and it's a song written by a gentleman by the name of Ed Whiting.
okay.
And to my knowledge, it's only available on an album or a CD by Petula Clark.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And I just love that song. I
All
love
right.
the message and the spirit behind it.
Love it. All right. I got more of those coming up on the other side of the break.
Okay.
That's Stephen Murray. He's going to be hosting a brand new show right here on WWDB-TV. I sound like a Southern guy there. WWDB-TV called The Gift of Giving, beginning in September. You're not going to want to miss it. We're going to step away for a final break of the show. Then we're going to take it right up to the end, to the top of the hour. You're watching Aaron's Hour with yours truly. We'll be right back.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Hi there. We're back. I think John sat on a crab over there or something. All right. Stephen Murray, he is my guest today. He's written 5 books, which you can all find on Amazon. Just look up his name, Stephen, because we know Stephen, or how do you pronounce Stephen or Stephen?
Stephen.
Stephen, with that F sound. Okay.
Yes.
PH. There you go. For you.
Like phone.
Like
As
phone.
opposed to acidic.
That's exactly right there. I fall into that all the time with him. Anyway, he's got 5 books out there on Amazon, which you can find. Just look his name up there. They're all award-winning books. But now let's shift gears. Let's focus more on the show. We talked a little bit about the concept behind it. And I know you sent this to me in email, but I know you have a couple of organizations that potentially already lined up your first couple of
Yes.
shows. Let's talk about some of them if you can or choose to. I don't know if you've publicly
Sure.
shared any
I'd
of that.
be happy to share with your viewers the upcoming podcasts. The first one we're going to have is a Warriors Suicide Prevention Foundation.
Okay.
And our guest is going to be Sherry Peterson.
Okay.
Obviously, they help prevent suicides for veterans.
Very important.
It's an umbrella organization. It's for organizations that fall under that. So she's going to be our first guest. The second guest is going to be Patricia Duffy. She's representing a foundation assisting seniors.
Okay.
And that, again, is self-explanatory.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third show, we're going to have Stacey Chapter. She's the Community Outreach Director for Project 150.
I'm very familiar
I don't
with that.
know, but for your viewers that may not be familiar with the organization, they help displaced teenagers, and they help feed them and clothe them. and make sure they get through school so they've got somewhere to start in life.
If memory serves, I think right before school, a couple of weeks before school starts, they open up somewhere. They have not a drive, but they allow the students to come in, like we said, get some clothing, get some supplies. I think right before school. I don't know if they still do it.
Yes.
They still do it. Okay, so that I don't know if they have dates selected for that or not yet, but that's right on point with what you were talking about.
Yes, and so Stacey Chapter will
Right
be
on.
in there. And then the fourth one that will be aired in September is that's Stephanie Gherkin. She's the founder, and Emily Villarreal. They're with Michael's Magic Paws.
Okay.
Michael's Angel Paws, I
Angel
beg your
Paws.
pardon. And they help provide service dogs to the community and to veterans and to blind people. So those are going to be the first four. And
Sounds exciting.
then we have an organization that helps females from 14 to 24 who find themselves pregnant and with nowhere to go. And we've got Catherine Williams coming on from that organization. And we're also going to have Julia Lazarek from Prisons Family Alliance.
Okay.
They're a support group for families whose loved ones are incarcerated. We've got Stephanie and Gary McFeeters from Brooks Good Deeds. They run a food pantry and also an Alzheimer's support group. So looking forward to having them on as guests. And Arsene Hassam, she runs a foundation called Hello May Foundation, and they provide support for foster children who are moving out of foster care into the adult
It's like a
life, and they help them
transition.
transition.
Wow.
And so there's all kinds of very worthwhile organizations coming up.
I have to admit, the
There's
6 or
more.
7 that you just announced for as many years that I've been here through Kiwanis and everything, you've thrown a couple of names out there of organizations that maybe started after I got out of Kiwanis full time. But there's some in there that I haven't even heard of. So I'm going to be looking forward to learning more about them as well, because I'd love to maybe help them by having them come on my show as well, or my Thursday night show, The Roundtable, where we can also help push some of these organizations as well. So that's good.
Well, and one of the things that I found very impressed me is, and I mentioned it to John earlier, is I toyed with the idea of this show because I thought, I wonder if it's going to be a downer of a show, given the nature,
Sure.
you know, that you're dealing with people who are facing challenges. I don't like to say problems, challenges.
Obstacles, yeah.
Obstacles, there you go. But when I've reached out to these organizations, the passion and the enthusiasm of the people I've spoken with, I just know that they're really making a difference. And so the goal is to try and help get volunteers, help spread the word about them, help get money for them, and encourage other people in the community to give back, because after all, that's what it's all about, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Giving back.
Absolutely. I love it. And when you do any kind of show, I'll put that word in quotes, even our show, my show, fun and informative, there still has to be an emotional connection to the show, to the guest.
Yes.
And quite frankly, I'm going to let a little secret out here. It's one of the reasons why I ask those crazy questions, because up until I start doing that, my audience is learning about you, your business, the books, this and that. But do they really know you? And so for every answer you give me to my crazy questions, there's probably people out there saying, he likes that, I like that. Now we've created that emotional connection, good, bad, or indifferent. So now you're going to take these organizations. There's nothing stronger than emotion. So because of that, it doesn't have to be a downer of a show, but if they present that what they do to support, there are going to be people out there that are going to emotionally connected and tied to the organizations. It's going to be a terrific return on investment for the show and for these people coming on to be presented. It's that emotional connection that's key.
Yeah.
It's very important. Yeah. So
well, I hope it'll be successful.
When is your first show going to, I don't want to say, when is your first show going to be available for viewing? Have you figured all that out yet?
Well, I come into the studios on August the 15th, and I'm going to record all 4 in the one day.
Okay.
And then they will start going weekly in September.
And how long are the shows going to be? An hour?
30 minutes each.
Okay.
30 minutes each show.
Right on.
And
because I know this lady back here can talk for 30 minutes. Easy. Give me more than 30 minutes.
Well, down the road, maybe it'll
Yeah.
expand to an hour.
Sure.
I don't know, but I thought let's
Yeah.
just start out with 30 minutes
Mhm.
and see how it goes. And
Especially with one organization at a time. I think that's
yes,
good.
yes, I
That's
want
a
to
good
do
way.
one organization
Yeah.
at a time and just focus on them and
Sure.
let them talk about
Themselves.
what they're
Yeah.
doing and
That's great. So,
So-
so you're pre-recording them later next month, but they're going to start appearing when on air on the network?
in
Roughly?
September,
In
the
September.
first weekly in September, the first four will be
Oh, okay.
broadcast.
So like after
But
Labor
I
Day.
don't know whether
Gotcha.
when John's got it down for.
Oh, you're gonna have to remind him his medication doesn't work all the time. So you're gonna have to remind. He's not awake back there. He's working with his eyes closed.
I'm
Anyway.
not going to have to hire a secretary for
Yeah.
this job, am I?
No. From here,
That's
just
good.
throw something soft at him.
Oh,
not awake
okay.
him. I was bringing a Nerf ball or something.
Yes. Wadded up green pictures of dead presidents.
Does it matter what presidents?
No.
I can send you Monopoly money, and that's got something on it. Anyway, no, seriously, I'm looking forward to it, and I know John will push on when they start airing. John, you make sure you give me that information so I
Yeah.
can share it as well.
Yeah.
So that's good. Like I said, and the lineup you have for the first 6, 7, 8 shows. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Each and every one of them. I guarantee there's people out there. If they don't know somebody in their own immediate family that is in need or has interest or needs something of those, somebody's going to know somebody. That's the key
Well,
thing.
also, hopefully, some of the people that are actually tuning in,
Mhm.
they might need the help
Exactly.
of those people,
Exactly.
that are talking.
Right.
And they might have been looking for somewhere to go and don't know where to
Right.
find it or how to find it.
Right. And
So,
what's cool about this platform, and this will be true as well, regardless of where people will see this, like folks in, again, I keep using my home state, New Jersey, could be watching the show and know somebody out here that they've been talking to that are struggling with X, Y, or Z. Hey, I just watched this show from New York. You need to get in touch with these people. So the great thing
Yes.
is anybody from anywhere can
Yes.
help, can ask for help or point someone in the right direction.
Yes, and I did want to focus on local organizations because
Right.
there's a lot of national organizations like the
Mhm.
Red Cross and Wounded Warriors and what have you. And
Mhm.
I'm certainly not diminishing their
No,
contribution. They
not at
do
all.
huge work, and so do the local responders. But there's acknowledgement out there,
Mhm.
and there's no acknowledgement for some of these smaller
Absolutely.
organizations that are making a huge impact.
So when you watch a show, make sure you have at least pen and paper handy so you can write down web addresses of the organizations that are coming on. I know John will probably put a little crawl underneath so people watching it will do that. But make sure you have stuff ready. But of course, you can always go back to watch it on a video later on. John, the floor recognizes John. God only knows why.
One of the advantages
Yes,
of the recorded shows
yes,
is that you can put it on pause while you write down the information.
that is true. That's right. What he said.
Yes, there you go.
Or,
See, and you thought I got this job just because of my good looks, huh?
oh shit, that would be the farthest from the truth. Anyway, even a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while. I love it.
I know. I wish they'd leave me alone.
The Gift of Giving will be debuting and airing here in September. I'm happy and honored. Have you talked about the show on any other show yet? Is this the first show? Am I giving a scoop to the audience?
Yeah.
I'm scooping?
I
I
yes.
love it. I love being the first to bring brand new news to the market out there.
Yes, it's only going out in my newsletter on Monday.
That's
so
right. I jumped the
you've even
newsletter,
jumped
folks.
the newsletter.
That's right. We spare every expense to get you the greatest news
Yes.
around here. All right, a couple more crazy questions here because I can't believe we only have about 10 minutes left. Man, you kind of already answered this question, so I'm going to skip it. What's your favorite meal from top to bottom, starting with the appetizer?
Oh, well, can I start in the middle?
So anyway, it's your meal.
Lobster thermidor
Okay.
is my favorite main
Main course.
course.
Okay.
The second is ossobuco.
Okay.
My favorite dessert, I think, is tiramisu,
Okay.
and appetizer probably lobster bisque.
You like lobster, don't you?
I love
He's
lobster,
a lobster guy.
yes.
Exactly. Any adult beverages with that you would consume, or do you not drink any wines or anything?
Don't drink wine unless it's
Okay.
got beads in it.
Unless it's got what?
Beads in it,
Oh,
bubbles.
okay.
So it's either champagne or prosecco.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All
But
right.
that's very occasional. You
No,
know,
that's
I'm not a drinker.
No, listen, I'm not either. Why is it stuck on my phone? All right. What's the next one I want to ask you? If a movie was made about your life, Who would you want to see star as you?
Oh,
That's
who
always
would
a
I
fun
like to
one.
see star as me? Again,
Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Yes, probably.
Yeah, why not?
I think to put something like Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise in would be a little bit misleading.
Well, listen, magic nowadays with CGI. Yes, John.
Well, that's true.
John Geigle.
John Gielgud.
Yeah.
Oh, Sir John Gielgud. Oh my!
John
You know
Gielgud.
what? I like that one better.
Yeah.
I like Sir John Gielgud. Man, he's passed, isn't he? He passed away.
Yeah,
Yes, I think
unfortunately.
so.
We'd have to
You
resurrect
have
him.
your second choice. Yeah.
We'll have to
That's
resurrect him
it's
first.
John Gielgud.
Ooh.
Oh, actually,
God.
you know who else might have been good if he was still alive?
Okay.
Would have been Sir John Mills.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one too.
Yes.
Did you have another one?
Yes.
Ian McClellan.
Ian McClellan. I like Sir John Gielgud better. I think
I
that's
do
my
too, but
my
he's
top.
dead.
It's all right.
Ian isn't.
Magic CGI.
That's a very moot point. I don't think anybody's ever going to be making a movie.
No,
of
listen. I always felt when I was heavy, I always thought John Goodman would be my replay when he was heavy. So you never
Oh,
know.
wait, he's lost weight too.
I know. But when I started asking this question, I was 350 pounds. That's why I was thinking.
Jonathan
Anyway.
Winters might have been good.
Oh, that's a good one too. Oh, he was such an underappreciated comic because he did a lot of writing for other people.
Yes.
But him and Robin Williams together in a scene.
Oh.
I mean, Robin Williams adored Jonathan Winters.
Yeah.
But
He was
he,
brilliant.
oh my! I have XM in my car, so when I hear him on the comedy channels, it's like it takes you back.
We want to talk about favourite movies too, and think of Jonathan Winters. One movie I never tire of. It's a Mad
World. That's
World.
it. That's right.
I tell you, I can watch that, and as soon as those credits start going up, I'm chuckling and giggling away like a kid.
You should.
know?
It's a great movie.
It is.
Those are movies that you can just sink your teeth into and literally escape because it was fun.
Yes.
And I think a movie that was similar to that down the line was like the Cannonball Run shows, with Burt Reynolds and Dean
Yes.
Martin, all that, the same thing. That's when comedy was fun. You had
Yes,
all those
they were
now,
funny.
now you got to watch Barbie. Go figure. Barbie, Jonathan Winters. I don't know. Dom DeLuise. Dom DeLuise and Jonathan Winters were a lot in that same genre
Mm-hmm.
of comedy. I mean, Dom DeLuise was more in your face with his comedy, where Jonathan Winters, because he does those impressions of the old lady and this, and would bring that little skit of improv
Yes.
more than Dom DeLuise would do. But God, those comedians. There'll never be another crop of comedians like those.
No.
That was a golden age of comedy.
It really was. Really
I can't
was.
think of anybody from that
Everybody
age who's
was
still
funny.
around. They were great. I digress as always on the show. If you can win an Olympic medal in any sport, or not sport, I don't care what it is, what would you want to win? What do you think you can win an Olympic medal for? I don't care what a sport or otherwise. I don't care.
What I could or what I would like to.
Yes. Part A and Part B, if you'd like.
I think probably ice skating.
Okay.
What I would like to. What I could, none. I've never been good at sports. As I said, I can't hit a golf ball. I can't kick a football. If I play tennis, I throw the ball up and hit the racket, and the
How
ball
about
drops
pickleball?
down.
Have you tried pickleball? It's a
No,
smaller
I haven't.
court. And there's no
haven't.
holes in the racket.
But even a dartboard, if I go and try and throw a dart, it's
That's
like everybody
dangerous. And
stands
you gotta
back.
clear I get you. You know what mine would be? Grocery bag carries. My goal every time I go shopping is I want them in one trip.
What's the one with the broom and the snow?
Oh, curling.
Curling, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not a sport. That's shuffleboard on ice. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, let's be real. Grocery bags in one
Yeah.
trip. I did that the other day. I was
That's
laughing.
not a sport either.
That's the idea. You can win an Olympic anything. So I went shopping the other day because we had just come back from New York. It was a regular. I put it in the hatch of my truck, and here I am. I'm collecting all the bags, and I'm laughing up here, saying, "I'm going to get them all in one trip. I'm going to win it. I'm winning a medal for this." I got them all in. It was like 20 bags. I couldn't feel my arms 3 minutes later, but I got them all in without dropping
Yes.
anything. So it's fun. Good stuff. All right. A couple other quick questions. What 3 words best describe you? If someone were to describe you, give me 3 words.
Oh, 3 words? Well,
Be careful.
I-
This is not a G. Well, it's not a G-rated show, so it does not matter. Kidding.
I would hope they would say genuine.
Okay.
I hope they would say sincere and integrity.
Okay.
I would hope.
That's good. Well, listen,
Things of
I've
that
only known you
nature.
for about 54 minutes in person, and coming from the East Coast, I deal with I always get the goosebumps and the chemistry aura. You are everything that you just said about yourself.
Well, thank you for
So,
that.
and I
appreciate
mean
it.
that wholeheartedly. So, yeah, I think you picked 3 great words to describe yourself.
Thank you. I hope so.
Perfect.
Perfect. What's the funniest name you could think of for a pet?
Funniest thing.
It's obviously funny. He's laughing to himself already. It's probably pretty good.
Doozy.
Boy, that can have so many different ways.
Yes, there you
Doozy,
go.
do your doozy over there. That's a doozy. I like that. So many different ways. All right, a couple more questions. I'll let you off the hot seat because I'm running out of time. I usually give my guests a hint to my next question. Who's your favorite superhero, Batman or Superman? Here's your hint. If you want to come back next time.
Superman.
Thank you for watching, everybody. That does it for this show. No, I'm only kidding. Why Superman? I'm just curious. Obviously, I'm a Batman fanatic.
Because I never care for that. Batman.
That is going in the sizzle reel.
Shit. Who invited this guy? That's what I get for asking John for help.
That's what you get for asking those questions.
I'll give you the check after the show, Steve.
Shit, man. I'm going to go back on vacation. I don't need this. All right, last question. Has a little serious tone to it.
Okay.
When the day comes, hopefully for a very long time down the road, that you're standing at the pearly gates and the maitre d' is there to greet you. Before you walk through the gates, what is it you want to hear the maitre d' say to you upon entering the pearly gates?
Thank you for trying to make the world a better place than when you found it.
I couldn't agree any with what you're doing. I couldn't agree any more. That's you're off the hot seat.
I think that's our purpose in life. We're not here for ourselves. We're
Right.
here for make it better for others.
I think that's a great answer. I love it. And with that, we are out of time. Even though he likes Superman better and doesn't like the Batman music, screw that. So I'm ending the show. I don't give a shit. No, okay. No, seriously. Thank you for coming in.
It's been my
selection.
pleasure.
Please,
Thank you for having me on your show.
Lots of success with the show. I look forward to helping to promote it as well, and I know it'll be a hit. And also look for his books on Amazon. Stephen Murray, Murray. Give your website real quickly again. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to catch you off guard with that question.
That's all right. www.authorstephenmurray.com. And if they've got questions on The Gift of Giving, they can email me at stephen@thegiftofgiving.vegas.
There you go. Love it. All right. With that, thank you all for watching. Next week's show, I have no idea who's going to be on. I'm not asking John again because look what happened this week. No,
Boy, that's the best guest you've had in a long time.
don't
man.
tell that to my other guests that I say that to. No, seriously, just keep an eye on my Facebook pages for next week's show. Next week, I have no idea. It's the first show of August. I just got back from vacation. I barely know which. I had to remind myself how to get to the studio. You know what I'm saying? All right. Thank you again for coming in. Appreciate it.
Been my
Everybody
pleasure.
out there, please make
Thank
sure
you.
that you watch this show again. If you want, please, I encourage you, reshare today's show so that more and more people out there know about Stephen's show coming up in September. You will not want to miss it. As always, be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have, like it or not. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next week right here on Aaron's Hour with yours truly. Thank you, everybody.